All right. Hello everybody. We are back this week once again with more streams. And before I recap what we did last time, I just want to quickly draw some attention to a few changes that we've made to the stream setup. So let me just make sure the audio is good. I think it should still be good from last time. But yeah, but if you've noticed, our page might look a little bit different. It's because I've added a few things to it. Um, First thing you might notice is the countdown. So, interesting enough, yeah. So, right now it's showing 23 hours until the next stream because the countdown shows every night that we have a stream. We've also got our Twitter feed live on the right below the video, basically, and some other neat stuff down there. So hopefully I'm gonna be adding more fun gadgets or widgets or whatever you call them on the bottom. And it's really the first time that I've taken any time to do this. But I'm not sure if you can see it, so I'll need to figure out if it's working or not. But there should be a Streamlabs integration where you can collect gold bars and hopefully exchange the gold bars that you collect during the stream for some fun and exciting rewards, which I'll need to update. But anyway, once we verify that that's working and that people are actually getting gold bars, then I'll go into more details about the rewards. But and hopefully we'll be able to add more and more rewards as time goes on. But the biggest reward I want to mention, at least, is that if you collect enough gold bars, you'll win a free copy of one of our games. So I mean, that's reason enough to watch, I guess. So if you watch enough of our live streams and get enough gold, you can exchange it for a free game. So anyway, hopefully that'll be a good incentive for people to enjoy the content if it wasn't enjoyable enough already, which I think it is. But I always like to do these kind of games, and I was thinking about last time. Last time I was thinking about maybe we can reward people for catching bugs and stuff like that before I catch them. And I think with this system, maybe if there's a way for me to reward people with gold bars if they do catch a bug or a mistake, I think that'd actually be pretty cool. So I think we're one step closer to making that happen. So we'll have to see as I fiddle around with it a little bit more and get used to how the technology works. But I think that's actually going to be pretty fun. So anyway, that's just something to think about while we're doing this. So last time, I'll show off what we did last time, basically. Um, so the very last thing that we did, because we did two things, we implemented the costumes and the thumbnails so that whenever you go to... Oh, right. So, okay, before I get into all this, let me see. I reworked some of the code over the weekend to sort of make it easier to separate things out. So I created the sound controller, I created the item spawner, and I created the prefabs. So I tried to get it so that every script is no bigger than let's say 500 lines. Whoops. So I try to make it so that each script is no bigger than 500 lines, just so that it's easy to read. And so I don't know what that script used to be. That's weird. Yeah, that's really strange. Anyway, let's see. So we need to add a reference to the item spawner. We need to add a reference to the timer, which is going to be down here. And we need to, I think, add a reference to the sound controller. Oh, there's the map controller as well. Map controller. So I separated all these things out into different components, which is really what you're supposed to do. But I did that off stream because it's not really exciting to watch. The variable music, a sound controller has not been assigned. Okay, so we need to add this basically. title music is going to be, gonna grab this BGM here, Jingle Bells, and we're gonna add this to the normal music. And this is the boss music. We'll probably change the music later on as well. But anyway. I think that's just about everything. Yeah, okay. See if that works. Object reference not set to instance of an object. Let's see what this is. Yeah, that's what I thought. We don't have a reference to the sound controller. Let me just take 1 second. That's weird. Alright. I didn't see it when I looked before. Yeah, I guess it wasn't referenced. So we just drag it right there. And there we go. That is weird though. Yeah, so last week was a pretty busy week for me, but this week should not be nearly even close to as busy. So hopefully we'll make a lot of progress on this game. So let me show off what we did. Okay, that's okay, I think. I don't know, we'll see if this works or not. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's working, because I messed with stuff. So let's take care of this real quick. What is the little reference here? So I guess we're starting off with some bug fixing. Map controller line 19. Level name dot text equals level dot level names. Oops. Oh, I bet I know why. Level names does not exist. Always have to initialize this stuff. And really what I need to do is rename this from like, I'll try this name of selected level name. There we go. Selected level name. Ah, see. Well, that's because like the autocomplete that messes that up. If it's like level name and then level names, it's really inconvenient. So I changed this to selected level name so I don't accidentally type the wrong variable. I think that's all. That's the only place that was used at though. Anyway, let's see if I can do this now. Yeah, okay. Map controller does not contain definition for level name. 404. What? That doesn't seem right. Oh, menu controller line 404. So let me just change that real quick. Selected level name. Okay. Alright, let's hit play and let's keep going. Anyway, to just so I can explain what we did last time, we implemented the costumes so that we could this is probably not going to work. Yeah. We implemented the costumes so that you could be whatever costume you wanted to be. Do any of these buttons work? Okay. Something's really wrong with all these stuff. But anyway. Whoa, that's not good. What happened to our data? Let me start this over. And then we also implemented the shop. So maybe this time I'll have to spend some time fixing these bugs, and maybe that'll be exciting. Let's see. So the first thing is, well, you can see right here what we did last time. So we're taking the data for the level Cold Cavern. The level Cold Cavern unlocks the White Snowfield and unlocks the item store. The White Snowfield's data unlocks Pitfall Tunnel, so on and so forth. And that's about that. So the biggest thing that we accomplished last time was unlocking multiple levels. So let me go into the sound controller here, because the sound controller is a thing now. BGM volume dot value. So I guess BGM volume doesn't exist. Yeah. Well, it does exist, but because I changed all these strips, I need to grab it. So I need to grab it from the settings screen, which is option screen, I guess. And BGM volume is going to go right there, and SE volume is going to go right there. And that should fix that. Should clear on play. Yeah. Okay, so that's fine. We're good. Press play. Now what's happening? Argument is out of range. What's happening here? File object 15, mini controller 313. This shouldn't actually have been anything different. Because I didn't actually modify this stuff, so what's going on here? Line 15, last level played, dot text, equals. Is this switching at all? I'll just do that. Last level played, dot text, equals save data, dot latest level unlocked, dot toString. Okay, map controller, dot level names. This is probably the issue. Map controller, dot level names probably does not contain anything in it yet, because the map controller is something new. So I'm willing to bet that these functions are not called, maybe. Right? Read in level names. When is this called? Why can't I fix all these bugs? Yeah, we have a good image for that. I don't feel like digging it out right now, but yeah. Why can't Kinjo fix all these bugs? So, I think the issue is, well, I think the issue is that the level names.count is less than 0. So I'm gonna go to the map controller and I'm gonna say, or where was it? File object. Fill data. So if level names is less than 0, controller instance dot map controller dot level names, right? Or maybe it's part of the menu controller. There we go. And we can do that. I want to debug.log a few things just to see what's happening. So let's do the count just to be sure that this is non-zero. And we'll grab this just to make sure that we're accessing a part that's within the count. And I guess that's good enough. If something else happens, then we'll deal with that. What's this? Unexpected symbol. Oh, duh. Just copy and pasted that in wrong. So we'll see what happens here. So far so good. Of course, something's gonna break. Okay, so 24 does not exist. What? Map controller 24. Object reference does not exist. We're getting an error in a different place, it looks like. Okay, so the count is 7. Yeah, the count is 7 and it's 0. So that was the issue, I believe. Yeah, we got our files back. Our data's back. But what's the deal? Is it because it's because it's maybe a dictionary, and because there is no level called level 0? I guess. So what line is this error on? Map controller 24. Oops. So yeah, so we need to debug level -1. Well, a few things. So I'm going to get the index right here, and then I want to get the name at that index. We're probably not going to be able to get the name at that index. That's my guess. That's what my guess is, that is what's wrong. Yeah, so the index is, well, I don't know. Right, so it's line 26 that's the issue. That's interesting. So we are able to get the name of the level, which is strange. We're able to get the name of the level, but we're not able to get... Oh, is it selected level name? Oh, darn it, I bet that's what it is. Duh. Okay, see? Guys, if you had been paying attention, you would have been able to figure this one out, because this was in the bottom right corner the whole time. So if you see right here, the text references do not exist. So what we needed to do was go to, where is it? Levels, and grab all these things. So sidebar, here we go. So again, this is because I extracted out all these scripts and stuff like that to better organize things. So I need to add references here to all this stuff, and now it should work. I think at least we'll get past that part. But yeah, that was staring people in the face. So I think it's a fun game to play. Who can get the most stuff? And here we are. Okay, so we're back to normal, as far as I can tell. If we go to our shop, yeah, we got everything. So you can see now that the items have thumbnails. See, that was a good warm-up, right? Got everybody thinking. But we got thumbnails for our items. You can buy the globe. Actually, I can't because I don't have any money. But if I go to the inventory, I guess my save date is gone. I don't know why. That was weird. There was an error right there. Oh, I bet I know why. I bet it's because I clicked on like this or something. Yeah. Yeah, that level is not in the dictionary yet. But, oh, shoot. My hotkeys aren't working right now. That's terrible. Shoot. Well, anyway. I don't, like, let me test this out, right? Yeah, the hotkeys aren't doing anything tonight. I don't know why that is. That's terrible. Anyway. Let me check the hotkeys. That should have been working. Is numlock on? That's the problem. Oh, man. Because I've been using the number pad keys. So, note to self, don't put numlock on. Alright, so... but yeah, okay, so let me just, I don't know if you guys saw any of that. Alright, so... These were not referenced down here. This was the problem. And maybe that's why nobody said anything. But, so these things were all empty. So I needed to go and drag all of these things in from here to there. and sure enough, it worked. And it's the reason these were empty was because this strip did not exist. I put it on here at the beginning of the stream, forgot to set our references, and then it magically worked. So anyway, we can go in our shop, and this is what I was bragging about a few seconds ago. You can see the thumbnails for the items that you can buy, and if I had money, I could do it. I could purchase them. So let's hop into a level for a second so I can get money. Okay, and there's a null reference right there. That's weird. Cosmetic, I get costume name. We'll deal with that in a second. Let me just get some money. And it might be because it's looking for a costume that we don't have equipped. But I can buy the globe, and then I can go back, and I can go to the inventory. I have my globe, hit equip, back, and go into the level again. And sure enough, yeah, we don't get an error, so clearly it is trying to find a costume that does not exist. So maybe we could deal with that glitch in a little bit. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to accomplish a few other things tonight. I wanted to, well, let me go back. So the main thing I want to do is I want to make sure the shop can be tied to a level. So because right here we've got an item store, and that's because when you beat this level, it unlocks this level and this level. So you can go from level 1 to level 2, or you can go from level 1 to the item store. And it doesn't have to be called level 6, but I want to deal with this stuff so that we can actually have like item stores along the way, and then each item store can have its own set of items. So as you go later into the game, you can come across stores that have more items in them, better items, and stuff like that. And then we can get into stuff like quantities of items sold and stuff like that. Most of these are just you buy it once and that's it. Other stuff might have more quantities in them, but I don't know about that yet. So the thing that we need to do right now is, well, first off, let's deal with that glitch that we found. When you don't have an item equipped, well, you can't unequip, so that's a bad thing too. Well, I kind of wanted it so that you have like your default costume and you can just change what it is, so you won't ever not have a costume equipped. So maybe we'll just leave that in for a second. So let's not worry about that. Let's just worry about the shops and getting it so that when you click on the item store, it opens up the shop screen. And I think we can do that in a number of ways. So we've got our level buttons here, and this should be the one. Yeah. So as you can see, it's level button 6, and this text right here says that it's 6 because, well, it doesn't have to say that it's 6. That's kind of what I'm getting at. The reason that we load level 6 when we click on this flag is because it says 6 right here. If we were to say level 3, and it would be level 3, then when we load this, we'll load level 3. See, now it's Pitfall Tunnel. And so if we change this to level 4, it'll think it's level 4. So if we change it to level 6, then it'll think it's level 6. But the thing is, we don't have to display this number up here. So probably the first thing that we want to do is get rid of the numbers and then just display the level name. So then we can have like item store without saying that this is level 6, because this is a non-linear order now. So we're going to get rid of number 6 and all of the numbers in general. So let's just stop right there and get to it. And that worked because numlock was not on. So the hotkey worked. Okay. Man, sorry about that. I hate it when stuff like that happens, because you miss so much whenever you're not looking at the screen. But anyway, let's see where that is though. Where's so the level name, right? It's actually right up here, selected level name. So we can just remove level and the dash and then just get just the name. So that's actually done pretty quickly. Now what we want to do is we want the simplest thing to do is just rename the scenes of the corresponding levels. Like Well, I guess here's the problem, which is how do we know what the orders are going to be? Like if we add new levels in, then we're going to have to change the names of our scenes. But I mean, there can't be that many, so maybe that's just something that we'll have to swallow and deal with. So that if we add a scene in between two other scenes, we'll just have to change their names around, and that's not that big of a deal. So we're going to have to change the names of level 6. So if we go into level 6, well, here's the other thing, though. I don't think we actually need to change the scene for, like, an item shop. Like, we don't need to go inside of anything. We just need to change the menu. So we could have it so that it like references some absurd number like 999, and we won't have any scene called 999, but although I guess the problem with that is that it's getting the data from the level based on, well, unless we say that if the data does not exist, then don't load it. Like an item shop wouldn't have your best time. An item shop wouldn't have your best, your number of deaths on that level because there aren't any. So let's do that. So whenever we click on a level, we actually don't want to load it if it doesn't exist in the array. So where is this? Okay, here we go. So this is what we'll do. We'll get rid of these debugs because we don't need them anymore. We'll say if level is greater than level names dot count. Well, actually, I'll say if it's less than, and then we'll just put all this stuff, put it right in here. We can get rid of this comment. It doesn't matter anymore. So simple as that. If we have, actually, it should probably be less than or equal to. I think we'll deal with that later. But I think now if we try to load that one level that was giving us an error earlier, it should be fixed now, and that's gonna help us out with the item shop. So click on that one. No. Well, it didn't load any of the data, but what's it trying to do? Map controller 31. Well, maybe it does need to be just less than. I'll do that then. Or maybe I'm asking the wrong question. No, that was right. Okay. So now that doesn't break anymore. Well, here's the problem, I guess. We actually want to disable these entirely. We don't just want to not fill them in. We want to not show them. So let's go back in here, and we will say we'll say bool level has data equals this. So then we can say if level has data, and then at the very end we will say or maybe up here we'll say level temp dot set active, no, dot enabled, yeah, equals level has data, and we'll just copy and paste this a couple more times. No, I did it again, darn it. Need to be better at that tonight. Alright. See, that's why I always double check though, and it'd be really nice to have a second monitor that I could look at, because I mean, I sort of could have a second monitor. I think I might actually do that next time. I'll set up things so that I can see a second monitor while I'm doing this. It would be kind of inconvenient right now, but yeah, I think there's a way I can get it to work, but it'd be really nice if I could get a smaller one, or one that I can actually fit on the same desk. But yeah, that would help out a lot more, I think. See, the more we keep doing this, we'll be able to buy more equipment and get things going better. And I really hope that happens sometime soon. But anyway, so bool level has data equals level is less than level names.count. We'll just put that there and put that there. So what we're doing is basically saying, if the level does not have data, then we won't show any of these text things. And if it does have data, then we will. So very simple. And I think this should work. Right. Now what is this? The n/a, what is that? Best time. Did I forget to deal with that one? I guess I must have. Okay, but yeah, that's all we needed to do for that one. So then we can just be like, you click on the item shop, and then it's like, this is the item shop. So, alright, so we're kind of backwards here. The item shop apparently has data, and water level doesn't. But here's what we can do. We can say, if we go back to this button here and we give it like 9999, right? There's a level that's not going to exist. Go here. Okay, well. Okay, now that's a problem because it's not within the set of names. So that is a problem, I guess. So why does water level... I guess because water level is... That's interesting. So water level is a level that has a name, but we don't have the data for it. So... Actually, let me open up the data file so I can see what's going on. I'm getting a little confused now by my own designs here. So we have one file called level names, and yeah, I wonder why it works for the water level. Well, let's see what it is. Level names.count. This is going to be harder than I thought. I'm doing this again with the hotkeys. Man. So what I'm trying to do is trying to get it so that when you click on the thing, it opens up the shop menu. So we just translate the functionality of this button to clicking on that thing. So I guess what we could just take a really convenient shortcut, and this is probably what we will do. I'll just make it so that when we click on this button, quite literally, when we click on this button, it will have the effect of that button. So I think that's all we need to do. We don't need to mess with any complicated things. So let's remove that, and let's just, where's the shop button? Shop. Menu controller.shop button, so that's what we need to do. Let's get rid of the big shop button, or at least disable it. And I'll go click on, I'll click on this again. So we go down here, or up here, I guess. King controller, menu controller, and is it shop button? Yeah. Okay. So I just changed the functionality of the button. It's as simple as that. It sort of changes the dynamic though. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but anyway, if we click on this button, we can go to the shop. I wonder if it would be better to like show this information when you mouse over the thing instead of clicking on it. I don't know. I guess that's the only weird thing about this, is that when you click on the shop, you're not like, you know, you don't have to click the sidebar. I don't know. We might just do away with the sidebar entirely. If you can like hover over it and see the name of the level, I think that might be more intuitive. So, and we could do that right now almost, because we actually got the shop working. It's just what we want to do is make it so that each shop has its own individual list of items. So we'll deal with that next then. So this is just one item shop. Okay. So we should be in the code now. Yeah. And it's so sad because I'm hitting the buttons, but the buttons aren't working right. So it's like I'm remembering to do it, but the computer just doesn't do it. And that's no fun for you guys. But I was messing around with the enemies. So all the enemies inherit from one enemy class, which is the right way to do things. And except for this one doesn't. There's also a separate class just for keeping track of the time, a separate class just for keeping track of the sound. Whoops. Okay, sure, save. And yeah, that's old. The map controller, it's just that. What I want is the upgrade, so we're gonna have to open that up. Oh, darn it. Oh, and also here, just so that everybody can see it, you can see I've organized the strips by folders too. So we've got a controllers, cutscenes, effects, enemies, interfaces, physics, and other. So other, I didn't quite know how to organize them, but they're all right here. Because I noticed the strips folder is getting like really large. So yeah, they're kind of organized by what they do now. Got cutscene stuff, controllers for like managing stuff. They don't do anything. Well, they do all the important things, but they don't do anything specific. Then enemies for like, you know, dropping them in the level. Effects for like, I don't know, special effect. And physics, of course, for all the physics logic. It deals with like motion and collisions and stuff like that. So that's all there. So what we need is the upgrade. So that's going to be an interface. So upgrade shop right here. And we'll click that and we'll go into it. So as you can see right here, we are just hard coding all of this stuff, which is not right. We don't want to do that. So we're going to have to separate all this out into its own text file in the data folder, which I conveniently still have open. So we're going to go to that and create a new file, and maybe maybe I can put that on the screen too. I'll just call it shop.text because the first thing we want to do is get it working with just one, and then we'll get it working with multiple. Let's see if this is gonna work. Actually, oh, hello, window. Let's see. Let's see. I don't want to show anything that I don't want to show. Just a little redundant, but let's clear this stuff out for a second. I think we're good. Okay, shop.text. So we're going to, yeah, there we go. That's what I want. Shop.text. So I'll put that off to the right here. And we're just going to start filling it out, I guess. So we want, let's say, a basketball. We'll call it, let's see. Well, now a JSON representation might be convenient. Just because this is so much stuff. Or we could just do it comma separated or something similar to a comma, like semicolon. Basketball, this is a basketball cosmetic. It's the type. And the price is going to be 10. Or it could just be as simple as that. I don't know. I don't really mind it that way. But, well, it's also not just cosmetic, it's a costume. So, we can do a meatball. Somebody touched my spaghetti. And we'll do costume again, and it'll be priced at 10. So you get the idea. And then we got globe. This is a globe. Oh, did you know it was like, it's kind of funny because I made the globe, but it was like actually like Earth Day weekend, or Earth Day was, yeah, I think Earth Day was on Sunday, and we made the globe on Friday, so that's kind of funny. I didn't think about that. But anyway, so we'll do, this is a globe. It's also a costume. Or what we could do is we could just have a whole section for costumes, like, yeah, that's too complicated. Forget that idea. You know what we might do? We might just import the JSON stuff, because this is a little ridiculous. So if we do it in JSON format, for anyone who doesn't know what that means, I don't know what it stands for. I just think of the guy who yells Jason all the time in that one video game. But you can have it so that it represents objects in terms of text. So you've got like, let's say, items you can buy at the shop. So then you can have your list of items. Okay, this is too whacked out in Notepad. I need to go for like Notepad++ or something. But I don't want to show off all my other stuff that I've got going on there. Let's see. Let's just do this the right way. Let's see. Let me move the window to be this one instead. There we go. Alright, so we've got Notepad++ up. and these are going to be our items. So we've got our list of items, and then we can just add items. So to do that, we just make an object by having the curly braces, and then we do so we add the property name, which is the property name is going to be like name, then you do colon, and then you give it the name, which is like meatball, and then you add the comma, and then you do the next value would be like description, which is going to be like somebody touched my spaghetti, and it'll be like that. Well, comma, not a semicolon. And then we'll have price, which is going to be 10, and we'll have type, which is going to be costume. I guess that's good enough. It can be capitalized. I think that's it. Yeah, that's all we need for this stuff. So then we can add a comma, then we can do another one, and down there another one, and another one. So we've got 4 costumes basically. Naturally, what we could do is instead of having a type for each of these things, we could just do categories this way. It'd be really easy. So we can just do like costumes like that. Whoops. And then you would do a comma to add a new array of things. And we can come here, and hopefully this is still looking good. Yeah, okay. And we can come down here and we can say trails. That's the other thing that we added. We added trails. So we can do like golden trail. Oh, and I need to fill all these in. So we need like globe, you know, happy Earth Day. What else is there? Beach ball. Summer's fun. I don't know. We can change the descriptions later. And something like tennis ball. Tennis is fun. Okay. So anyway, this is a really easy way to do it, and I'll show how to import a JSON thing. Whoops, I did that again. Because writing all the code for that yourself is a pain, but luckily other people have figured things out. So anyway, I only have one trail to add in, so we're just going to do that. We're just going to do this one trail. A brilliant trail of gold sparkles. I don't know. We can we can change these later. The point is that we can sort of get them all going. So we've got speed boost now, or stat boost, I should say. Let's tell them boosts, I guess. Name, heat, resist, level 1. Resist 10% of heat damage. And we can actually just probably copy all of these because they're going to be very similar. We can do range level 1. And one more we have. My hands are too fast for this. I'm hitting buttons I'm not supposed to be hitting. Power level 1, okay. And we're going to change the descriptions. Fly farther. Fly faster. And we'll change the percentages here. Level 3 is 30%. Level 2 is 20%. And so this is just for getting items right into the shop. We'll have multiple shops that have different items in them, but So we'll be able to edit like, this will be like shop1.txt, and then shop1 will read from shop1. So this is pretty straightforward stuff. So last thing we need to add is the move sets, which really we haven't done a whole lot with, but we'll still add them in anyway. I'll just call them moves, I guess. The name will be double jump, and this name will be triple jump. Actually, I'll just call it wall jump, because I do want to add a wall jump in. I think that'd be cool. Can jump in here, and can jump against a wall, basically. Or maybe off of a wall. Okay. Anyway, so I will save this now. That was a bad idea. Anyway, let me see if I can find a save file for it. Oh, maybe, I guess you guys can't see this. That's good. Let's see. Find the data folder, put it in data folder, and we'll just save it as shop1.json. And that'll be that. So now I'm going to copy and paste a lot of things that I found from a certain website so that we can get the JSON stuff in there really quickly. And it's completely fine to do this. You just have to pay attention to the license of the thing that you're using. I try and put them inside of a plugins folder or something similar, just so that I'm aware and everyone on the project is aware that this is not something that I've made, but it's something that is available to freely use. Same with the terrain generator. I didn't make the terrain generator, so I bought it from the asset store. So I'm going to copy and paste this stuff in plugins, and it's called simple JSON. So we're going to use simple JSON. And hopefully you can see it's compiling the scripts right now, or maybe you can't. Yeah, that pop-up doesn't show up on your screen. But it's compiling the script right now. And as soon as it lets me do anything else, I'll show you how this works. So we've got simple JSON right here, and so it's got the MIT license, which means we can use it, so that's fine. And so anyway, it's a really convenient thing that's going to help us out here. We just need to put at the top here of our file using JSON, I think. Well, actually, I think maybe I need to close out of this and put it back in, maybe. I think I need to close out of it. So I'll close out of this for a second, and we'll reload it. Let's see, how does this work? Let's load it up so I can see what's happening. Yeah, namespace simple JSON, so that should work. So this is the namespace that we need to include in the file that we want to use it in. using simple JSON. There it is. See, now it pops up. Actually, you couldn't see that because it doesn't show the suggestions on the stream. For some reason, it doesn't show the suggested items. Anyway, we're going to use simple JSON now, and we're going to use that to read from our JSON file. So now let me just see how I can do this. Well, let me get this out of the way. We will do int count equals 0. We'll deal with this count later. But for int I equals 0, I is less than count, I plus plus, we will do items dictionary dot add say item name, then new so then we'll need to create these individually. New cosmetic, name, description, price. And we'll copy and paste this a few times. You'll see what I'm doing here in a second. We'll change this to we have to add that fourth parameter in because of what we did the other day. And then we'll just change these down here so that we're creating a new stat boost and a new moveset. And we'll get all of these name, description, and price from our data file. So this is a work in progress for right now, basically. Now I'm going to take another look at something else that I did just to see that how it was done. So for a second I'm going to switch over to this screen and I'm going to look at something else just so I don't have to think about how I did it the first time, which is always a nice thing that you can do. When you've done this stuff enough times, you can just copy and paste stuff that you've done in other projects, as long as you have the ability to do that. Okay, so this is a line of code that we'll need. I know it's not much. I didn't feel like refiguring it out. So we've got variable JSON data equals json.parse the file name, basically, .text. So we'll copy and paste that in here if we can, because MonoDevelop does not like to do that. So I guess we can't copy and paste it. That's one reason I should switch to using Visual Studio. So I'm going to pin this window so I can look at it, and then we're going to do this. Var JSON data equals json.parse resources.load text asset data slash shop1 dot, we don't need to add the file name. Then we just add .text here, and that's that. So that's pretty good, and we're done with that. So the next thing that we need to do is get the count of the costumes that we need to do. So we'll just do count equals JSON data. We'll get the name of costumes dot count. So it's as simple as that. Actually, we probably shouldn't be so dangerous. We should just do this. That way we're not playing with fire here. So it's very specific. So for this one, we'll get trails.count. And for this one, we'll get, oops, we don't want two semicolons right there. That'd be bad. Trails.count and what is this? Boosts.count and moves.count. So then, so for int I equals 0 to the end of the count, we'll do string name equals JSON. Well, actually, we don't need to mess with any of that. We can just do it in line like this. JSON data, costumes, name, and by default it returns a string, so that works for us. We'll get description, and we'll get the price, but we need to return that as an integer, so we'll do dot as int. Oh, whoops. You need to have costumes and then both of these together. And just so it's all close to it together, we'll do that. Price. Okay. Okay, and really we should just do this. Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. A lot of coding in general is copy and pasting if you know what you're doing. So now we just have to do the same thing for the rest of these items. So we'll do a, yeah, I shouldn't have done this before. So, because I'm copy and pasting it again. Stat boost. And what is this? Move set. Okay. And we don't need this last parameter here. Yeah, as int. Okay. Two parentheses, okay. Alrighty, so we gotta just add these in, replace trails with boosts, and replace trails with moves right there, right there, right there. And I think we're good, because it is name, description, price, name, description, price. And this is gonna load it from data/shop1.txt. So what we want to do actually is create a new function down here. It says public void load shop inventory. I hesitate to call it inventory, even though shops do have inventories. I don't want to confuse that with the player's inventory. So we're just going to call it that, and then we're going to say string shop name, and we're going to add shop name to this, and we're going to do load shop that. So at the very beginning we're going to load shop 1 no matter what. And then later on, when we hit different buttons on the world map, we're just going to change this to whatever shop that we end up clicking on, basically, based on the world map icons. So that's not so bad. I think it ought to work. You know, I say that every time that we do these, so I think it ought to work. I'm just double checking everything to make sure it's there. But I think we successfully, oh, I gotta get rid of this at the top. But I think we successfully translated this from being hard-coded into the game to being in an external text file. Because that's what you want to do, basically. You always want to have it so that it's in an external text file, so that when you translate things to different languages, you can just do it very quickly without needing coding knowledges. What's this? Invalid argument. Cannot convert a text to a string. What is this? Oh, duh. I forgot to replace this. So we just need to add this in. Replace item name with this. It's a bit silly, but okay, sure. Not a big deal. Okay. So when we hit play, we should see the shop appear just as it normally does. Of course. So, what did we do wrong? I guess nothing appeared at all. Okay. Oh, duh. It's, well, wait. I don't know. I called it shop1.json. Is it actually reading from that? Maybe I should specify the .json part. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary, but let's debug.log the data. Just to be sure that we actually have it. Okay, this is probably our problem. Probably our problem. Upgrade shop line 43. What's this? Okay, so that's not right. You don't want to add that in. Let's go back here. And I thought you weren't supposed to, but yeah. It should work is a good motto. Yeah, it's what I always say. It should work. I never get hopeful that things will work. Like, I never say this is going to work. It's just like, this should work. Okay, so we do get the data, which is good. We get our costumes. Yeah, so that's all good. What is this, though? Line 49. Something goes wrong on line 49. Costumes name, costumes description, costumes price. Dot as int. Name, description, price, costumes. I don't see anything wrong with that. The other problem is we're not quite sure which one of these it's not able to find, which is not good. Oh, duh, what am I thinking? Oh, man, we forgot. Okay. So, anybody want to guess what we missed out here? Right? I figured it out. So, so think about this. We're looping over this for loop, but I forgot to specify what we're doing with this I right here. So, we want costumes I name. So, we're going to add that there and there. We're going to have to edit on all these as well. Because we're trying to get these for the individual items. So I think we've got them all now. No, we don't. There's the last one. Okay, so we've got them all now, and now it should work. See, I mean, I think it'd be a fun game to play along with. Try and spot the mistake before I spot it. There we go, see? So now it works. Sort of. I don't see the globe here. Oh, it's because we already bought it. Duh. Okay, yeah, so it does work. Okay. So this totally works. And if we click on it, we get our description. Yeah. Okay, so this totally works. We're good. Okay, so now the only thing left to do is to specify which shop that we're going to be loading. And that's actually extremely easy to do, because all we have to do is come back in here, go to our mini controller shop button, and we just need to make this a string that we pass in. String string shop name, I guess, yeah. And then we'll pass that in to this thing, and we'll do, well, we'll come in here, and then what we're going to have to do is delete the menu and then add it back in from the file. So we'll do load shop, string shop name, load shop name, and then we will well, we have to delete it first, so we'll do, what is it, items dictionary.clear, basically, I guess. Can you clear it? Yeah, I can clear it. So this will remove all the items that were in it before. Then we will add them all back in, and then we will take out any that the player already owns. So clear the shop and populate it with items from that specific store. So then we can just come back here to our map, and we need to fix one more thing here. Okay, so this is a problem. So when we create the menu again, we need to remove it from the store. So what that means is we need to store the shop name somewhere. So we need to store this as, let's say, private string current shop name. And so we'll do just current shop name equals shop name, like that. And then what we'll do is we'll say create menu current shop name. So that's as simple as that. That should be fixed. Okay, now we come back here to the world map screen. And sidebar. No, we want to go to this level here and replace the function with the new function, which is where is it? Shop button string, and we'll pass in the string, which is going to be shop1, and this could be whatever, but this is the name of the text file it's going to read. So shop1, and that's all we have to do. So then we just close this out and save, and then we'll hit play, and we should see that it works like normal. Yep. And then if we wanted to, just for the heck of it, just to test it out, we can create a second shop. So I'll go ahead and in Notepad++, I'll save, well, I'll turn this off, and then I'll save as, let's say, shop2.json. And in shop2, we're not going to have any costumes. I'm just going to say, well, actually, we'll only have one costume, which is the meatball. We'll have the golden trail, and we won't have any heat resist power-ups. Whoops, you can't see it on this. So I'll do it again. So you can't buy any of these things in the second shop. You'll have just the meatball, just the golden trail, no heat resist, and say just the wall jump. Let's say these are the only items you can get in the second shop. So there's shop2.json, and we can easily test this out by going to this again, and we will just change one of these from whatever it was to the other one. So this one was level 7, but let's change it to another shop. Let's change it this way. Whoops. I need to drag the MIDI controller over here. Been having some bad luck today with the hotkeys. Anyway, at least we got it now. So we'll do shop button, and we'll do shop 2. So this is shop 2. And you'll be able to see that when we load this up now, it will load our, we can switch between the shops basically. So we'll hit play. And so this is our second shop. There's not much in it. And here's our first shop with a lot of things in it. So now we have 2 different shops. And I guess, okay, we're going to have to deal with that when you scroll out of bounds, because this has more length to scroll than this one. But that's okay. We're going to redo the visuals at some other point. But anyway, the point is, now we can unlock multiple shops. So you can buy stuff from this shop, or you can buy stuff from this shop, and they have different things in them. So, and it's really easy to do that, because everything, like I've said, is in the JSON file, which is this thing right here. And so we can just really, really easily edit the names and descriptions for all of these different items, and then just point it toward a different text file whenever we want to do that. So I think we're done with that window, so I can go ahead and get rid of it. So goodbye. And yeah, so that's the first major milestone of tonight, and other than the debugging that we did earlier. So anyway, I gotta think about what we'll do now. That actually took less time than I thought it would. So we were able to read in the level, or the shop I should say. We read in the shop and all of its stuff that it has, and we generated 2 different store catalogs basically. I don't know if there's much else that we could do in regards to that tonight. Oh, there is one thing we can do now. I got the sprites for the penguin from my friend of mine who was doing the sprites for this game, or at least some of the sprites, because you know I do some of them and he does some of them. But anyway, I got the penguin sprites, so we can try and get the penguin in there tonight. Let's see. And you can see a little bit of how all that stuff works. Okay, here's the penguin level. So we're going to replace this guy with someone who looks a little bit better. So let me grab it real quick. And we'll drop it into the sprites folder. It's actually the enemies folder inside the sprites folder. So 1 second. And so it should be in there now. Yeah, penguin wobble. Okay. I might have to edit this in paint.net for a second. So I guess maybe we need a third window again, after all. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so this is our penguin guy. So what I kind of like to do is just line these up in a row. It's just easier for me to think about this conceptually if they're all right next to each other. And it's not that hard to do this. Okay. Oh, there's more. It's a little bit more. Do you have a vision of what the map or world will look like? Um, in my head, I do, sort of. Maybe I'll spend some time drawing it out this week. And actually, probably I will be the one to draw it, just because, I don't know. Unless, I mean, I guess unless he wants to draw it, but I think it would be best if I just made it. What I want to end up doing, though, is create all the levels first and then go back and draw the world map, because, you know, we might decide to change what levels we plan on making, and so that's going to affect what the world looks like. But I can maybe draw a rough idea of it. Anyway, I like to keep the red border on initially just so that I know if anything is like off center. So we can just, like later on, I'll just do this, magic wand, select, and, you know, delete, and then suddenly everything looks good. But I like to keep this on for right now just so that I can see when things get off center, if they do. So anyway, we're back here now, and we're gonna replace this guy with his new version, which looks a lot better in my opinion. Okay, so first thing you'll notice is that we don't want the whole strip, so we gotta come down in here. This is the first time I've really talked about how sprites are integrated into the game. Anyway, we have to do single to multiple because we want to have multiple sprites, and we kind of want this to be on point instead of bilinear. Well, I don't know, we'll deal with that later. Pixels per unit, let's do 64, I guess. Well, now they're gone. Now I don't know where they are. Anyway, let's go to the sprite editor, and I guess you can't see that window. Let's put it this way. Let's see. Maybe I can't capture that window. That would be sad. Alright, I guess you can't see this window, but there's a button that lets me slice all these up, so I'm going to do it, and I'm going to hit apply. And it looked similar to the paint.net window that I had open. But anyway, once we've sliced these open, whoops, I have to do it again. Oh, it thinks, okay, never mind. It thinks that the red lines are part of the sprite, so I'll get rid of the red lines, and we'll try it again. And now we can slice it, and we'll apply. And now you can see down here that we've got a bunch of sprites. So there they are. Okay. And here he is. So here's our penguin. He might need to be a bit bigger. I don't know. How big is Snowball? Okay. Snowball is going to be this big, so just for a starting measure, I just want to see what he looks like. Okay. Yeah, so like, if it's the compression is bilinear for the filter mode, then that means there's going to be like blurriness on the edges. So if we do point instead, it'll look like that, which it looks more traditionally gamey, you know? Like that looks really blurry and stuff like that, but that looks better, I think. So we can go ahead and press play just to see what this looks like. Or not. What's going on? Let's fix more problems here. Menu controller line 138. Oh, I'll do this if map controller is not equal to null. Just otherwise we won't worry about any of this. Menu controller 148. What's wrong? Oh, all this other stuff with the game controller that I didn't do. Okay, I have to go back in here for a second. And we have to go back to the title screen. Yeah, save. So, title screen, we're going to have to change the game controller for a second, prefab it back up so that it has all those references that we changed when dealing with the individual levels. So, game controller, okay. And then just turn that back to the intro, and then we're good. Really, what I should do is make the title screen its own separate object that's not part of the game controller, something like that, just so I don't have to keep doing that all the time. But that's probably the next thing on the list. So we can head back to this level now, and hopefully that's going to fix a lot of things. Okay. And there I am without a costume. So well, that's interesting. Okay. All right. Anyway. So here's our penguin friend. And he's not moving at all, which sort of makes sense because he doesn't have an animator on him. So we're going to add an animator to our penguin. If it will let us zoom to him. Okay, here we go. So we need to add an animator. So let's do that. And we're going to, yeah, we're just going to drag all these and we're going to put them up here, and this will create a new thing for us that we can drop into the animations folder. And I'm going to, yeah, I'll make a folder for the penguin. So penguin will have his own folder in the animation folder, and it'll be penguin waddle animation. Okay. So let me show you. We've got animations right here. So penguin waddle. Okay. So you can just drag. Actually, let's put the animator up here. And okay. So the animator works using something called a controller, basically. And the controller lets us, if I open up the window, is this it? No, that's not it. Let me find it. Animator. So the controller lets us do things like this, where we can decide what state he can go to next. So for right now, we don't really have a whole lot. He's just constantly waddling. But we're going to want to add a state that is just him being idle. Penguin idle. And so here for penguin waddle, it's obviously penguin waddle. But we will add this again for idle, but the speed will be 0. I don't know. We'll deal with that when we get there. So I just want to see him moving around for a second, because we should see him moving around now. Yeah. And I don't have much of a face, but the animation looks pretty good. That's weird. Snowball defaults to that. Anyway. So that's our penguin guy. And he looks pretty good, I say. It's actually kind of cool, him just sort of marching in place like that. It's almost pretty cool by itself. And then let's see what happens when I hit him. Also, the line went behind the thing again. That's annoying. But Yeah, and then he sort of moves like that. So he should do that when he's walking. I think when he we need to have an animation of him stopping his walking, like going from walking to not walking, I guess. Well, I don't know. It's weird that he only tries to attack me whenever I attack him first. That's not the way that I programmed it. I mean, it must be the way that I programmed it, but I didn't mean to program it that way. So I don't know what the deal is. He's really hard to knock over for some reason. And he's just going to walk right off the edge. Okay. First off, I wonder what the deal is with this thing. Snowball not loading his sprite correctly. Whoops. I want to open up his script. There we go. Okay, get costume sprite. Return resources dot load sprite slash snowball. I mean, is that has to be the right sprite. Oh, no, it's not. Sprites slash costumes slash snowball. Okay. March of the Penguin, yeah. I did like that movie. Okay, there we go. That's good. So we can probably make his mass a little bit smaller, maybe. I don't quite get why he's so hard to knock over. He wasn't the first time. What if we move the penguin script? It's really weird. Like, why is he moving? His script shouldn't move him anywhere, you know? Like there, like, okay, he topples over there, that works. But it's like, now what happens? What is this? Penguin line 62. Okay, I guess I should fix the problem with the penguin. I don't know what his deal is, but he gets really hard to knock over. Oh, I see what's going on. This is really strange. I don't know what I was thinking when I coded this. When does this become true? Okay. Okay, so we only want to start rotating, not constantly, but whenever our no, but see, this is the real condition. When our Euler angles are between a certain thing. I want to debug.log this. Like, I want to see what it is exactly, the value. Because he shouldn't be constantly trying to upright himself, because that's too crazy. Okay, so right now it's 359, and then it goes to 2. It's just weird. So if it's greater than 90 and less than 270, or it's less than 90 and greater than 360, you know, there might be a better way to do this. If I do a line cast on his bottom, like, yeah, I'll just do that, I guess. So I'll do bool is fallen over, I guess. Bool fallen equals false, or equals whatever, it doesn't matter. So then we'll just do this. If is fallen over. So now what I want to do is check to see some of his collision stuff. And we actually got the code for this right here. Okay. So this is the mask that we're going to use. So we check for collisions with impassable. So this is simple. Transform.position plus new vector 2 or new vector 3. Say 0. Well, we need to get the half width again. So let me grab the enemy script. So that we can calculate that again. So half width is going to be over here. Grab it. Is this all good? I think it is. I think it should be good. And then what do we do with the half width? Okay, so the half width is just the, okay, so that's just all we need there. So we'll do new vector 3, half width, 0. So the idea of the half width is to get the width divided by the pixels per unit times the local scale. the idea is to get it so that we understand the exact size in pixels of that the current sprite takes up, so that we can accurately draw a line from the inside of the sprite to the outside of the sprite. So what we're getting is we're getting half the width, because half the width is from the center to the outside to the border. So you want to make it so that you can detect precisely that. And really what we should probably do is do like 2 times the half width, which would make the full width, which means it goes the distance from the center to the border and then that same distance outward again to check for anything that's there. So actually I'd say the start point would be that, and then the end point would be 2 times that. And we could do debug.drawLine to see exactly what I'm talking about. We'll make that color .yellow. And we'll do this 2 more times, so we'll see, or 3 more, and we just want to check in every direction. So we'll say var bottom equals that, var top equals that, var left equals that, var right equals that. So well, I wonder which way that actually is. Maybe it's the opposite direction, I don't know. So we'll just do positive, negative, and well, actually we don't need top. What am I thinking? We don't care about where the top of them is, I think. Oh, but you know what? This isn't going to work, because whenever he rotates, it's going to be the same. All right, let me show you what I mean, because we're drawing the line. So we'll see if this actually works. I want to see what happens in terms of what happens when the line is drawn. So, okay, so it's going upward. Okay. He rotates that way, and the line is still going upward. So yeah, that doesn't quite matter at all. I was thinking we could check to see if, like, if he's on his side, but I don't know how to rotate the line like that. I was hoping the line would rotate itself along with him, but it's not, obviously. And that makes sense why it wouldn't. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll come back to this guy in terms of his falling overness. But I can still deal with his animations. For tonight, at least. We can finish his animations off. So we're going to have to get an idle animation. Yeah, because like that, I'm still not sure how to approach that problem. But let's grab his idle animation. And to do that, we're just going to grab 2 sprites that look very similar. Yeah, 3 and 8. We'll grab those 2 and we'll make this a new animation. And we'll say animation is penguin idle. And so that's that. And there we go. And now we just need to find it real quick. We don't need that open. Penguin idle. Okay. We don't need this other thing. It creates an animation controller for each one of these, but we don't need it. So we can get rid of it. So we go back here to our animator, penguin idle. just drag in penguin idle. And we want this to be the entry point, so let's do it to that and get rid of that. Or actually, what is this? Yeah, I need to do that. Right click, set layers default state, and then we can make a transition to go to the waddle, and then we can make a transition to go back to the idle. So we just need to define the conditions for that to happen. So it's not going to have an exit time. It's going to have a parameter, and we can add parameters over here on the left. So we're going to add a should be a bool or a trigger. If it's a bool, it'd be something like is moving. If it's a trigger, then it would just be triggered on and off. So I'd say bool is moving. That makes the most sense. Is moving. And so parameter name is moving. So when is moving is true, then we'll start moving. And when is moving is false, then we'll stop moving. That seems to make sense to me. So that's exactly what we'll do. And then we got to go back into our code here, and we have to get the animator. So we'll do public animator, and it doesn't have to be public. Actually, it doesn't. It shouldn't be public. Probably make it private, and then we'll do animator equals this.getComponent.animator. Oops, animator. There we go. So that's all we got to do, and then we just gotta think about this. Start moving. So we'll do animator dot set bool is moving, and we'll set it to true. And we can check in the update loop if body.velocity equals vector2.0, then we'll set moving to false. So I think that ought to cover it. So we'll see if this works. Okay, so he's staying put. Let's hit him. And he waddles towards us. Great. And does he stop? Yeah, he stops. Perfect. So what you might notice, it might be hard to tell on the stream, but there is like because we're using the point filter, he looks a little strange. And that's because of the camera. It's a little difficult to describe, but because the camera is the size of the camera is different, it's a little, you get these little wavy effects with the pixels. So that's an issue that we'll have to deal with. I don't know why it doesn't happen with those with the other sprites. Maybe it does happen with him and I just don't notice, but this is the only negative aspect about Unity's 2D system that I really don't like, can't get past. It's the fact that it's got that weird little wavy thing going on. Anyway, clearly we got the penguin moving around, so that's pretty good. And so I'd say we're probably just gonna be done for tonight. We'll call it a good day. We got the penguin moving, which is pretty cool, and yeah, good job on the shuffling penguin. Yeah, so I didn't make the penguin sprite. My friend did, so all credit goes to him on that. Well, yeah, so I made that like really basic looking penguin, but he took that and improved upon it quite a lot, and he made the animation. So, and I think it looks pretty great. So, we just have to fix his falling overness. because that's not right. And he has trouble getting up. But yeah, um, just want to remind everybody that, like I said at the beginning of the stream, we're going to have some more fun stuff down at the bottom of the screen next time, whenever I'm able to figure out how it all works. Because we've got, oh, that's cool. It says now live. I didn't notice that. But of course, it won't be now live when you watch this on replay. But we got the scheduler that tells us when we're going to be live next. So it tells you right there, Tuesday at 8 p.m. is our next time. And we also got our Twitter feed and the follower list. I might add more stuff. I don't like. It's the first time I've really looked into all these widgets and stuff. So if there's a cool one, then I will. Then I'll upload it. But like I said, I did integrate the Steam Labs thing, which means that there should be treasure chests popping up inside the chat or something like that. I don't know if it like. I'm not sure if that's working just yet. I'll double check. But if you do see a treasure chest, open it up and you'll get gold bars. And if you get enough gold bars, maybe you need to have a Streamlabs account for that to work. It's quite possible you need to have a Streamlabs account. But if you do that, then we'll see about exchanging those gold bars for a free copy of one of our games. So, among other things, I'm thinking maybe we can exchange them for like you get to tell me what game to play and I'll play it on the stream or something like that. We can do all kinds of fun stuff with that. And I want to get it so that you can get gold bars from telling me how to fix a problem on the stream. If you catch it before I do, I can reward you guys with gold bars, which you can spend on some of our cool stuff. So anyway, that's just a reminder that we're going to be doing that. So hope you guys enjoyed this stream. We'll be back tomorrow with even more fun stuff. And like I said, we've got kind of a less of a busy week this week, so we'll have a lot of time to get a lot of stuff done, I think. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.